This is how thousands are celebrating Carnival in Caracas this year. Spiraling inflation, high murder rates, and basic shortages continue to anger many in Venezuela.
We want to at least be able to have a family in a safe environment. More than a change in government, we want a true change in the country. We don't want to go live in other countries, we just want to change Venezuela.
Tens of thousands of opposition supporters rallied across the capital in one of their largest displays of force since unrest began in February. Sunday's march through the capital was overwhelmingly peaceful. Later in the day, though, hundreds of protesters engaged in standoffs with the police. But it didn't reach levels of violence seen at other recent protests. President Nicolas Maduro has cracked down hard on the protests. There have been fatalities and dozens have been injured and arrested. The government has been holding peace talks, but the opposition, with many of its leaders jailed, has largely boycotted them. This is the annual Carnival weekend, and under different circumstances, most of the people protesting here would be sitting on the beach. But they say they just can't go out and celebrate when many of the people in this movement have been killed or taken prisoner. Maduro even gave people 2 extra days off for Carnival, hoping to defuse the crisis. So far, that hasn't worked. People have just brought the beach to the protest.
La gente está pidiendo un cambio profundo, político.
The people are calling for deep political change, and if Maduro doesn't get that Venezuela has woken up, that it's demanding human rights, democracy and freedom, the people will make him understand within the framework of our constitution.
Much of the blame for the unrest has been pinned on Maduro for his reaction to the protests. He's called demonstrators fascists who want to spark a coup. Missing from the demonstrations are the country's poor, many of whom still support the government's socialist agenda. Wednesday marks a year since the death of Hugo Chavez. Maduro has consistently tied his presidency to Chavez's legacy, but many now are calling attention to the differences.
I was never a Chavez supporter, but at least he was a leader that could get people in the streets. Maduro doesn't represent us, and he doesn't have any know-how or charisma.
A challenge for the government as an economic crisis deepens amidst ongoing protests. Raney, Al Jazeera, Caracas.